Today we're going to have a look at two different arm designs. The first one is the single bar swing arm. The other arm that we're going to look at is called a 4-bar arm lift. It has two parallel groups of arms linked together. Okay, this one, the single bar, has our main strut that's going to do the lifting. It's connected back here at this gear and axle. The manipulator is fixed to the arm there. It doesn't pivot, it's a fixed point. The problem with this arm is that, the good thing about this arm is it's a really simple design to make. The problem with it is that it is good for picking up objects straight off the floor, but when we want to pick up an object off the floor and raise it to a higher point, it's not so great. You'll notice that the manipulator is pointing in the direction of the arm. When the arm points down, the manipulator points down. When the arm points up, the manipulator is pointing up. So the angle keeps changing. Let's try and pick up our object. And we've kind of had this one set up for midway. So we'll pick our object up. We'll try that again. We'll pick our object up. So we can pick our object up and we go to move it to put it on the stand. Because the stand is a lot higher now, we run into a bit of a difficulty because the angle of the manipulator and the stand are going to be in conflict with each other. And this is making it quite difficult to actually get the ring onto the stand. Quite difficult. So, really what we need to do is to actually be able to have that manipulator arm moving, like staying on the same angle, level all the way from the bottom to the top, so that we can actually manage it. So let's have a look at using the 4-bar lift. It still has the main strut and it's got this other floating arm as well. The main strut is connected again to the same point that the other one was to drive it up and down. However, at the front of this linkage, it's a pivot point. And at the top of the linkage, there's also another pivot point. And again, at the other end of this floating arm, there's a pivot point there as well. So now when it goes up and down, what actually happens is that linkage will stay parallel to the bar at the back. And it will mean that our manipulator will actually stay level the whole way through, which is kind of what we wanted for this case. So when we pick up our object now, you'll see that it stays nice and flat. This is really good for lifting up an object at one height and then being able to place it at another height, because you need to be able to place it flat or in the same plane that you picked it up from. There we go. And that's our 4-bar lift.